Welcome back to my KEEPUP channel. TikTok channel Migrant's Journey to Britain, asylum seeker posts series of astonishing videos which show him traveling through France, laughing with friends on a tiny dinghy, then watching TV in a luxury UK hotel. An asylum seeker has chronicled his perilous journey from France to England in an astonishing series of videos on TikTok, taking in train journeys across France, laughing with friends aboard an overcrowded dinghy, and finally relaxing in a UK hotel. The man, named on TikTok as Rahat Popal, is thought to be an Afghan national who recorded the various stages of his journey through France before crossing the channel on a packed boat and arriving at a migrant hotel in England. Beginning at an unnamed location in France, he is seen traveling by train to the north of France, thought to be the Gare du Nord. He is then seen in a French field before meeting up with companions and a group of other migrants and walking to the coast. Popal then films himself grinning while perched precariously on a small dinghy, crammed full of men, women, and children, before ending up on UK soil, relaxing in a migrant hotel believed to be in London. It comes as people smugglers continue to show a disdain for human life as they pack more and more people on tiny boats, with one recording 88 passengers this week. Popal's first clip shows him traveling on the TGV, France's high-speed rail network, as he crosses the country in a bid to reach Dover. He films the train's refreshments car before turning around and capturing himself, dressed in a white hoodie with a black bag and wireless earphones. A second clip shows photographs of Popal with two other men, who he then journeys with to England. He appears to be standing in Paris's Gare du Nord. He is filmed standing in a French field, before shooting himself and his companions as they march with a group of other migrants as preparing to make the voyage from the French coast to southern England. The group is seen smiling as they walk by a busy road towards the French coast. The man then films himself crammed on a tiny dinghy with dozens of other migrants, many perched precariously on the edge of the overloaded boat as they pass by a large cargo ship in the channel. Although there are many young men on board, women and young children can also be seen crammed tightly together. The passengers do all appear to have basic life vests, although many are balanced dangerously on the edge with their feet just skimming the waves. One of his pals smiles to the camera while another gives a thumbs up. On the floor of the rigid inflatable, a woman is pictured cradling a small child. Popal is then filmed relaxing on a bed in a migrant hotel, thought to be in the Greater London area, watching TV in fresh clothes before beaming at the camera. Another clip, filmed by a friend, later shows two RNLI vessels intercepting the packed boat and rescuing the asylum seekers. Popal is then filmed on a street in England, believed to be in the Greater London area, grinning with a friend. News of the videos comes as it today emerged 661 migrants on 15 boats had arrived in the UK on Monday, the third busiest day in 2023, bringing the total number of arrivals this year to more than 18,000. A further 337 arrived in 5 vessels, an average of 67 in each on Sunday and 130 in 3 dinghies on Saturday. Human traffickers operating on the French coast have been piling more migrants on rigid boats to make the dangerous crossing. In a blatant disregard for life, which earlier this month saw 6 migrants drowning in the channel, numbers crammed on dinghies have swelled from around 40 at the start of the crisis to close to 70 on average now. Many of the arrivals are forced to straddle the side of rigid inflatable boats for hours on end as they journey from France to the UK, with traffickers taking advantage of the recent spell of good weather to send more across the channel. A record 88 migrants crammed into a single dinghy over the weekend. The packed vessel was intercepted in the channel on Sunday and brought to Dover, sources told the Mail. Meanwhile, figures have emerged showing that French authorities are intercepting fewer channel migrants than last year, despite a £480 million funding struck between London and Paris in March. Statistics compiled by French authorities showed last week just 13,759, or 45.2%, of migrants had been stopped by beach patrols since January, down from the 17,032, or 45.8%. Over the same period last year. News of the latest arrivals and the blatant video filmed by those crossing will come as a fresh blow for Rishi Sunak's pledge to stop the boats, with the Prime Minister having admitted that this may not be fulfilled before the next election. The migrants who did arrive on Monday were seen smiling, with some making Albania's controversial eagle hand sign and the V for victory gesture at photographers. Up to 39 people arrived at Dungeness Beach on the Romney Marsh on Monday after being intercepted by the Coast Guard as they made their way through thick fog in English Channel. Police and immigration officials were seen searching migrants, including children and toddlers wrapped in blankets, after they made landfall, with witnesses saying as many as 600 were picked up from dinghies throughout the day. Photos show some migrants who arrived appearing to be in a good mood, with at least one man putting his hands together to form a double-headed eagle, similar to the one depicted on the Albanian flag. The controversial nationalist gesture first came to prominence in 2018 when Swiss footballers Granit Xhaka and Xherdan Shaqiri performed it during a match against Serbia, with critics accusing them of inflaming tensions between Serbian nationalist and ethnic Albanians. In recent years, Albanians have made up a growing number of those crossing the English Channel in small boats. In 2022, around 16% of all asylum applicants were Albanian nationals. It comes after it was revealed more than 25,000 asylum seekers have arrived in Britain in small boats since Rishi Sunak became Prime Minister. Monday is the sixth consecutive day the migrants have arrived, with 1,167 known to have crossed since August 16. It comes just 9 days since 6 Afghan men drowned after their dinghy capsized off Sangatte on the French coast. A total of 17,956 people have made the crossing so far this year in 377 boats, according to official government figures. But today arrivals have yet to be confirmed. August has seen 3,224 migrants intercepted in 60 boats so far. 467 people made the crossing this weekend, 130 were detected on Saturday and 337 on Sunday. Last year saw a record 45,755 people cross the Channel, compared to 28,526 in 2021. During a visit to a nursery in North Yorkshire, Mr. Sunak said stopping the boats was one of his top 5 priorities ahead of next year's likely general election. It is thought the 25,000 arrivals since Mr. Sunak's premiership started was topped on Friday, when the Home Office recorded that 144 people arrived in 3 boats. Over the past 12 months, French authorities have been able to stop less than half of those boats seeking to cross the Channel. A Home Office spokesman said, "The unacceptable number of people risking their lives by making these dangerous crossings is placing an unprecedented strain on our asylum system. Our priority is to stop the boats, and our Small Boats Operational Command is working alongside our French partners and other agencies to disrupt the people smugglers. The government is going even further through our Illegal Migration Act, which will mean that people arriving in the UK illegally are detained and promptly removed to their country of origin or a safe third country." Shadow Immigration Minister Stephen Kinnock said Mr. Sunak had fundamentally failed to get a grip on the migrant crisis in the English Channel, despite a pledge to put a stop to small boats crossing from France. The Conservatives have allowed criminal smuggling gangs to take hold on Britain's borders, and Tory incompetence is risking our national security, putting lives at risk, and pounding the public purse for millions every day, he said. Rishi Sunak has fundamentally failed to get a grip, and crossings are rocketing on his watch. It's time for a different approach. The Prime Minister must now back Labour's plan to stop the dangerous Channel crossings by going after the criminal gangs, by securing a returns deal with Europe, and by clearing the asylum backlog, which is costing the taxpayer £6 million a day. Speaking to broadcasters earlier today, the Prime Minister said, "One of my 5 priorities is to stop the boats. The current system is both unsustainable and is completely unfair, but particularly unfair on British taxpayers who are forking out millions of pounds to house illegal migrants in hotels and local communities. That's not right. We've got to put a stop to that. And we're working on it. It's not an easy problem to fix. I never said we would be able to solve it overnight. It will take time, and we have to attack it from lots of different ways. But I am pleased that the number of illegal migrants crossing this year is down for the first time in some years." That shows that our plans are working, but of course there's still more to do, and people should know I am determined to grip this problem, and that's why one of my 5 priorities is to stop the boats. Pressed again on whether it will be done by the next election, he said, I want it to be done as soon as possible, but I also want to be honest with people that it is a complex problem. There is not one simple solution, and it can't be solved overnight, and I wouldn't be being straight with people if I said that was possible. During the same visit, Mr. Sunak also defended plans to house migrants on an RAF base in Lincolnshire that has historic links to the Second World War dambusters raid. Asked about the risk that moving asylum seekers into RAF Scampton poses to a multi-million-pound investment, he said, of course the Home Office and other authorities are in dialogue with all local partners to work through all the outstanding issues and questions. On why migrants housed in Lincolnshire hotels are not set to be moved to RAF Scampton, with local businesses facing a prolonged squeeze as a result, he added, we are investing in driving growth in the local economy, and at the same time we are taking decisive action to stop the boats. Source: dailymail.co.uk. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.